Now, the newly adored political movement, Grand Coalition Ghana, is calling on Ghanaians to prioritize electing a candidate who is of leadership character and competent, as opposed to the candidates who are promising unachievable promises. They say belief is the right path in leading Ghana out of the current leadership crisis. There's more in the following report.
The Grand Coalition Ghana is set to end the duopoly experienced over the years in Ghana's political system. At the end of a 3-day dialogue, members of the group have confirmed 2 individuals to lead the daily operations of the coalition within Ghana and the diaspora respectively, until a flag bearer is officially elected to lead them into the 2024 polls. Dr. Samuel Walanyo Mensah, the spokesperson for the coalition, spoke to the media in Accra today.
We have appointed Mr. Jacob Hossein Yeboah as interim leader and Reverend Dr. Samuel Walanyo Mensah as spokesperson for the Grand Coalition. We also have the Diaspora caucus, which the great Owa is the head of Diaspora Coalition.
Jacob Osei Yeboah, an independent candidate and an astute member of the coalition who was selected to lead the group in Ghana, outlined some transformative agenda of the coalition that will help save the country.
Please listen very well. The first constituency is the National House of Chiefs and Queen Mothers to protect our tradition and our culture. The faith number 2 is the faith-based community, who are the embodiment of our morality. The youth, the third constituency, is the youth, who are the force of transformation for the generations ahead. The fourth is the businesses, industries, and traders. That is the economic power of our nation.
Ora Intim Ejakon, the leader of the diaspora for the Grand Coalition Ghana, asked the press to rally behind the group to effect the change Ghanaians desire.
This is a time of revolution. When I say revolution, I am not talking about using guns, but this is a revolution of the time.
Right, so joining us via phone for an interview is Jacob Osei Yeboah, an independent presidential aspirant who emerged as the selected leader for the Grand Coalition Ghana. Jacob, thank you so much for your time, and thanks for joining us on Newsbeat. Firstly, let me ask you, have you rebranded? We've known you in the political space in this same position as an independent candidate or wanting to be president for the country. Have you rebranded, and what are the changes now?
Thank you very much, and a very good afternoon to your viewers. I've not rebranded. Actually, Ghanaians have since 2010 been requesting that why can't you, all the independent presidential aspirants, together with the minor political parties, come together and then restore power from the duopoly of MPP and NDC. And so this is the answer to the request which has been made by voters. And that is why all of us are coming together in the form of a grand coalition, Ghana, and out of which we will choose one of us to lead us. And I think that this is the best way to go.
So what exactly is this? Is this a coalition, a movement, a party? Because you're still repping as an independent candidate, as a leader, but as an independent candidate. So describe this unity form of teamwork for us.
Yes, it's a coalition whereby each individual leader, together with his or her group, will still be working independently. And each individual will have a force and the resources and where the strength is. And so we are bringing all these individuals together to have that kind of synergistic force that can help us wrestle power from MPP and NDC. In synergies, 1 + 1 is 4. 1 + 1 is not 2. And so that is the essence of this coalition. Each of the members within the coalition, they have their respective national chairman, national secretary, and national organizers, all of them together with their offices. And we are pooling all of these resources across the country together. And so with this coalition, by coming together, we now have offices across the country, which means that we can begin to campaign from these respective offices across the country. This is the power, this is the force, the vehicle that is about to wrestle power from the duopoly. And it's not only those of us who were present. Some couldn't come, and others are still coming on board. It's a grand coalition, and so it's about peer review. Anyone who has launched himself as a presidential candidate could be part of it. Now, if you think that you have what it takes to wrestle power from MPP and NDC, come and convince the rest, and the rest will support you to become the Grand Coalition presidential aspirant. And then all of us will put our resources together to wrestle power from MPP and NDC. This is the strategy.
Okay, so if you're using the math, 1 + 1, becomes 4, why are we not also considering the Alan faction that is also forming some sort of coalition somewhere with old or, historic presidential or independent candidates also coming together? If we're really a serious country and we really want to wrestle power from these traditional political parties being MPP and DC, why not also consider, because I see strong faces like Professor Adai in your coalition as well.
Yeah, you see, Alan, we are still inviting Alan to also come and be part of the peer review presidential aspirant. And so this is the difference between ours and that of Alan. We are actually looking for a coalition that brings unity. We don't want any form of divisionism, okay?
Yeah.
We don't want to be seen as people who really want to enter into a feudal condition that is going on in one particular political party. It's a grand coalition. If today Muhammadu Bawumia says that he thinks that he has what it takes as a presidential candidate and he wants to be part of this coalition, or Muhammad thinks that he has what it takes to convince the rest to support him, we will just ask you, come and be part and convince the rest. So if you don't have what it takes to convince the rest, and you have any sense of entitlement that everybody should come and bow to you, that is where the difficulty will lie. And so we hope that everybody, all those that we are calling, before the 4th of June, that we've set as the date that we want to finally elect the coalition, the Grand Coalition flag bearer. By that time, we hope that Alan
So let me get this straight. The agenda, I see rescuing Ghana for all generations. I know the NDC also has a tagline, rescue Ghana. Is the agenda specifically to take Ghana from the current administration and not necessarily bother about who is winning? Is that what really this coalition is looking at, rescuing Ghana?
No, you see, it's not about this administration alone. All what we know is that what has not worked in Ghana since independence is the political party system, which we've understood is a neo-colonialism tool for divide and rule a country for a few people to enjoy and to manipulate the rest. And so we have come together to say that we need a model that can ensure that at the end of the day, Ghana is for Ghanaians, not an imperialist nation calling our president, and then through our president to control parliament, to have laws made for us Ghanaians, to impoverish us and all of that. This is something that we are working at so that at least we can take our sovereignty into our own hands as Ghanaians. You see, and that is why we came out with the 5 constituencies that we want those constituencies to replace political parties. And so anyone who wants to be a presidential aspirant would have to go and then convince the first constituency, which is the National House of Chiefs and Queens, who are the embodiment of our culture, the protection of our culture. And so you need to go and convince them. And you need to have some amount of voting over 50% before you could be allowed to participate as a presidential candidate. Likewise, we're talking about our faith-based community. Our fathers, Muslims, Christians, Baha'i, whatever thing, you need to do that.
Right.
They are all citizens of Ghana.
Right.
We're talking about the youth.
Right.
You need to convince the youth.
We'll leave it here. We'll leave it here. Jacob Osei-Yeboah, congratulations for your selection as the leader for the Grand Coalition Ghana, the new group that has come up within the political terrain. And we have more stories from your election central. They'll be given to you subsequently. Now, some drivers in Accra have expressed disappointment in the transport unions for the delay in the release of the new transport fares. According to them, the increment is necessary as the prices of fuel and spare parts has also shot up.